Hello and welcome back viewers to my series about programming in Java. I'm SuperDavo001 and I'm going to be showing you some of the simple stuff for Java. So, where are we? Sorry. Where were we? So, we'd made this simple little piece of code that tells you how long in nanoseconds it took for the computer to work out hello world. So let's just keep advancing this more. So, but first I'll just show you something I've been working on, showing you how much you can do when you learn more about it. This is a little game I've been making. It's got a load of code. So there's that, then there's line panel. Hold on. There's all of that. There's 200 lines there. Not all of them used. Now I've got an image loader. I'll show you how to do that sometime. Now I've got a player which does that. And then I've got the floor blocks. I've got the danger block. I'll show you what all of these ones do. Now I've got spawn blocks. Now I'm back to here again. So I'll just run what I've been doing to show you a bit about it. Here it is. So you can jump. Oops, I guess I can't because I'm rubbish. I lost. Okay, let's see if I can do it. So let's jump, jump, jump. The enemy blocks are the red ones. The grey ones are other blocks. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Now I promise you that I'm going to show you how to put it into a window, because if you think this one's actually in a proper window, not just on the output box. I mean, there is stuff that goes off in the output box, but you know, you have to have a window too for it to be that good. So anyway, so I've got that. I'll do some other stuff first. Let's create a new thing called public void spam. Oops, no, not that. Oops, I'm in capitals. I'm gonna have to completely retype that, sorry. Public void spam. So let's just put all this code into spam, because I'm gonna change it. Because you know, you might not just want to say hello world once. What if you say it, say 10 times? Let's try that. But to do that you have to use something initially is quite complicated, but it gets easier. And it's called a for statement. So then you have brackets, and then you have to create an integer, which you can call anything you want, but it's best to call it I. Semicolon. And then I is less than or equal to, let's say 10, because we want to do it 10 times. And then I plus plus. That looks complicated. It's kind of tricky to get used to, but basically I'll show you it by running it. Hold on a minute. Oops. Let me just drag this across. Why isn't it used? Oops, no. I said int I. It's gotta be equals 0. Why didn't it do that? So basically, at the start of the for statement, it sets this variable I to 0. And if it's less than or equal to 10, it goes up by 1. So it's going to run through that code 10 or 11 times, I can't remember which. I think it might do it 11. So then that. So yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. So instead I'll just make it, oops, no, less than 10, because it starts at 0. So yeah, That's creating hello world loads of times. Obviously I could set it to 1000. Then you just have a ridiculous amount of hello worlds. Some take longer than others. And then you know you can go really stupid and oops. Oh right, it's an integer. I might have to if I make it a long. Don't think it likes that actually. I'll have to shrink it down a bit until it stops warning me. That's alright. Zup, 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 zup. I think it's still doing it. It's still doing it. It just keep doing it for ages. So that's how you use a for statement. Well done. And then I'll just delete the for statement now. I don't need it. So what? But what if you want it this time to just spam indefinitely? Well, that's easy. You just use a while loop. While. And then this is while a certain parameter equals something. So like while diff equals 0, something like that, or d equals 0. But if you want to just write it indefinitely, just say while true. So I can put in some brackets, and it's just going to do that again and again and again and again and again and again. So let's run. You can see it just keeps doing it. And stop. Oops. Hold on a minute. That's bad. So now let's get to the nice frame bit. Create a lovely frame. But now you're going to have to go back up to the class. And now I've got to make it so that it extends JFrame. Which basically means it can use the things within JFrame. But then you have to click here. Add an input for javax swing.jframe. Javax or javax whatever .swing.jframe. And it'll create that. I believe if you're in Eclipse you can just hold it over and it'll come up with suggestions. So now we're extending JFrame. And it gets a little more complicated once you start using JFrame, but it's not too bad. First you've got to set size to what you want it to be. I'll use what I've been using for the dimension of the actual recording, so 640 480. You can also actually create a dimension object and it can use that as well. And then set visible true. These are all methods that are held within JFrame. Oops, I've set visible. So set visible to true. So now it's visible. I wonder if that does anything. Nope. I'll stop it from spamming for now. So let's see, set size, set visible. What else was there? I know there's set default close. Something like set default close operation. Let's JFrame dot exit on close. There. Oops. Closer. Oh my gosh. My typing is terrible. Now what else is there? I'm going to have to look back onto my line runner to see. Set visible, set size. Why isn't it working? I'm going to have to just stop the recording for a second. And done. Set resizable to, in this case, false. I don't want. I always do that. Set resizable. Will that do it? Yay! So now that has created a frame, which is lovely jubbly. See, now you've got your window, which is nice. So now what can you do with it? Well, first I'm going to set background. I'm going to set the background in this case to color dot, and you're going to need to import this, but I'll set it to cyan, which is light blue. For all you normals, for all the normal people who don't really know things like magenta and cyan. So now I've got two imports, by the way. You end up with more than that sometimes. Oops, I've just run it on debug. Closed. There. For some reason it hasn't set the background. Why hasn't it done that? That's weird, it didn't set the background. Oh well. Let's see what we can do. So now we're going to need to make a public void paint. And I believe paint takes a graphics of G. It takes graphics G. Just add an import for that. Easy peasy. Now it'll ask you to add an override annotation, which basically says you're overriding something that's already made within graphics. I think it's graphics. I don't know. But we're painting. And inside there I'm just going to put repaint, which will just repaint the image. So what I'm going to do now is G dot, so the graphics instance dot draw string, and it'll give you a string, an X and a Y. So the string is going to be hello world, and then the X, I don't know, 100, and then the Y is 100. Now hopefully, yep, hello world. Beautiful. Beautifully simple. And so then there's other things you can draw onto the screen. You can do things like fill in a rectangle. So let's say X of 200, Y of 200, width of 30, height of 30. So now I should draw a square. It'll fill it in because it's fill. You can draw a rect as well, which will just give you an outline. And if you want as well, using colour, you could do G dot set colour dot red, and then fill the rectangle. And then, yep, red rectangle. Perfect. So that's that. So what to do now? How about thinking. How about drawing actual images to the screen? And to do this, I'm going to do something else as well. Oops. Oh, stop it. Sorry, it's Bandicam messing about. I'm going to head up here and click on this. And this allows me to create a new something. So I'm going to go to Java and create a new Java class. I'm going to call it image loader. And you may recognize image loader from here, where it's got this. It makes it a lot easier. You can do it without having to add an extra class, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier because then you don't have to type in a ton of stuff again and again. So here we are. Package hello world, public class, image loader. So I'm going to create a thingamabob constructor. So I'm going to create empty in this case. I've just learnt about that today, where you can create an empty constructor which is there because it's there. You need a constructor, so you just make an empty one. Now if I just go into my documents, let's draw that icon image. Let's draw that, but I'm going to go into my NetBeans projects here. I've got all sorts of projects, so where is it? Hello World. And then source, but I'm going to I might create a new folder just because it's often a good idea, but create a folder called res. And then inside res put that image. That image is icon and it's a PNG file, so it's got a .png at the end. So here I've got the icon. And what that's going to do is that's just an image. So it's going to draw the image. But once I've got the constructor done, I'm going to need to create a public void. Actually, no, it's not a public void. It's a public image load image double brackets add import for image. It's going to moan at me for missing a return statement for now. And I'm going to need a string key. So yeah. So basically you're going to need to put in a string. And so now I'm just going to have to make an image instance called image. Quite a simple name, it's not rocket science. Just to stop it nagging, I'll just return image. Oh no, it's not being initialized, so it's still gonna moan at me. Okay, so now image equals new image icon. I don't get why you have to do this, but you do. And then you have huge image icon. You have an image icon, then dot. I think I'm gonna need to add an import actually. Yeah, add import. It's still gonna moan at me, but I can do dot get image. But inside this, it takes the parameter of the path to the folder. So I'm gonna load it up in here. You can see where it is. But actually, I'll just copy the address as text for now. If I put into a string, what? Oops, it's copying something completely different. There, that's the address. So now if I copy that, put into a string. Oh my gosh, it's not behaving itself. So copy, that should have done it. It's behaving a bit stupid at the minute, but oh my good gosh, this is just really frustrating. Actually, if I go into my other projects, I might just be able to copy some of the details out and then just alter it. Sorry about this. I'm gonna have to restart the thing again. Scored. And back. So if I copy out those details from there, no idea why that's there. So it's C users David documents NetBeans projects slash. I'm gonna change it to hello world, then slash then the resource folder plus, and then add the key to the end. That key is the name of the image, so that's going to return an image. So basically when you do this, you input the key, which is the name of the image, but you need the entire of the path to the image. So image equals new image icon, so then you've got all of that. It gives you all of that already, and then you just have to add the key, and then dot get image. So if I go back into the hello world class, now I want to import an image. And I think it was called icon.png, yeah. So then I'm going to need to create, in here, private image loader. It doesn't really have to be private image loader, but it's best off in this case. And then il equals new image loader double bracket. So now I've got an image loader set up. Now I can add a private image for you. Doesn't necessarily have to be private again, but private image icon. So let's add an import for image. And then icon equals load. Il dot load image. Now it's going to be icon dot png because it's a PNG file, so it's got that as the file extension at the end. So icon equals image loader dot load image icon dot png. Quite simple. So it's going to load the image. Now you have an image. So then if we go down to our paint, g.draw image, and then you have to draw an image which is icon x, its x coordinate which I'll set to 300. Its y coordinate which I'll set to 300. And then the observer, and I haven't a clue what the observer is, but you have to set it to null in this case. So that's that done. So now that we've drawn the image, it should appear right there. Ta-da! Magic. See, I think that's about it. I've been going on for 20 minutes, so thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.